Today we're talking with Mike Nusser of the Chez Art Gallery. He's here to tell us a little bit about the Bluegrass art experience coming up this Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, May 26th, 27th, and 28th. Without further ado, I give you Sessions with Maplex.
She was only 13 when they put her on display. A smiling face and sparkle.
How did the process go leading up to Chez?
Well, it's weird. I ran a nonprofit artisan center in Eastern Kentucky, in Pikeville. It was a place called the Artisan Center, and it was very nonprofit.
Right.
Quite. It was like quite nonprofit. I had to have another job so that I could work that job. But it was good. It was a learning experience. I got it right out of college, and then they were building a new courthouse.
Yeah.
And so they were tearing our building down, and so I decided to come back to Louisville for a while, and I actually came back to Louisville. My car broke down. I was coming back to tell my brother bye, and car broke down, so I got stuck here for a minute and just ended up deciding to stay because I always get drawn back to Louisville.
That's
and
crazy.
I met this guy, Glenn Hurry, and he's an artist in town. He metal sculptor, and through friends we met each other, and he was actually trying to buy a building and renovate it and put in a gallery and artist studios, and we both had construction experience, so we were working on that for like 6 months, and then the building fell through. The guy ended up selling it like 2 days before we were going to sign paperwork on it, and we were disheartened. We're like, oh God,
Yeah.
And then out of the blue, about 6 months later, Glenn gives me a call, and he's like, hey, I got another building, man, if you want to get on. And I was like, okay.
Sounds good.
And everybody else was like, no, because it fell through the first time. And I was like, no, it sounds good. I'm like, I'll do it, And I was just working construction at the time, painting on the side, And so I got to introduced to the building owners. The building's actually owned by the Sweet brothers, Michael Sweet and David Sweet, who are the owners of Framer Supply.
Okay.
And they had two buildings, and basically the one building was empty, and they were still got a really good business going on, but with the economy slowing down, they didn't need the other business for production.
Right.
And it was a handshake deal. I went in, basically Glenn had met Michael through his wife, and they'd met me through Glenn, and it was three guys just shaking each other's hands saying, look, we're going to come in here and gut your building, and if you trust us to do that, we'll trust you to let us stay here once we're done building it, and it worked out, and we haven't looked back. I think we told them it would take us a month to renovate it, and it took us like 4 months to renovate it. So
they were still
cool about it. As long as every day they came in there, they saw work was getting done. They didn't care. It's like 115-year-old building. So we tear down a wall and there'd be just debris everywhere, and there was always an issue with building that old. But yeah,
so you got it all renovated. You got it all done. How do you have it set up now?
It's set up now, we've got a gallery space, and then we've got 11 studios that we rent to artists, working artists, and we've got 3 apartments upstairs, which I live in one of them, which is nice, and you can walk out your back door and straight into your office and down in the gallery. It's sometimes it's a bitch though, because I can't get away from work. I'm always there, But yeah, it's working out really well. It's the gallery's really starting to take off, and now we've got the Bluegrass art experience that we're doing in Churchill Downs on Memorial Day weekend.
You want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that was supposed to be a small. We were just looking at trying to do a small art fair somewhere to kind of get our name out there. And Glenn had a friend of his son, Evan Clark. He's does a lot of promotions for music festivals. Never done an art festival, but he was like, what's the difference? I could do the same.
Be fine.
And somehow, I don't know, the guy's like the best salesman I ever met, because he walked into Churchill Downs and talked them into letting us do a art festival there, and they were really, really on board for it. Something they I think they've been actually kind of talking about it, and they never really had anybody approach them about. And they came down to the gallery. They loved our space, and they're like, yeah, let's go for it.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's the sad thing is we haven't had enough time for this this year to promote it the right way, because we started talking to them about, well, almost 7 months ago, but you know, getting all the paperwork signed, and they're corporate, and they've got all the stuff you have to do to make them happy, and you know, make sure it's definitely not a handshake deal. You can't just walk in there and say, hey, we're going to do this.
You feel like you need a lawyer.
Yeah, right. You know, and they were really good people. They were really great to work with, but it's just, you know, it's the things they have to do to, you know, they have an image that, you know, and you can understand they don't want to tarnish. So,
they have standards that they have to uphold.
Yeah, you know, and so we really got to the point where we got all the paperwork signed, like the beginning of March. So we've had 3 months to try to promote it, and it's still going to be good. It's going to be smaller than we thought it was going to be, but it's going to be. We're going to have a performance art stage that's going the whole time, and probably about 50 to 100 artists there, and it's going to be really nice. It's going to be a good show. We're going to have quality art, and the nice thing is for Memorial Day weekend they have about 20,000 people coming through anyway. So every artist that's there is going to be exposed to 20,000 people coming through, you know, and that's just without anything going on in the infield without any other event. So, you know, with our event, we're hoping we'll get, you know, at least another 10,000 in there. So, I don't know.
It still sounds, I know you're saying that it's not exactly as big as you'd hoped it would be, and you haven't had as much time to promote it as you'd like, but it still sounds like an incredible experience for everybody that's going to be involved.
Oh, I think it's going to be a blast. I really do. I think it's going to be a really fun time. I'm going to leave town as soon as it's done because I need a vacation. That's my plan. I told everybody that the day we pack up the last tent, I'm out. I'm gonna throw my cell phone in a lake, and I'm gonna just go sleep on a beach for about a month, and then I'm gonna come
unwind.
Back. Yeah, it's a lot. I always jokingly tell people I became an artist so I wouldn't have to go to meetings, and I wouldn't have to wear suits and ties and all that, you know. And somehow I find myself working behind a computer for 10 hours a day, you know.
Yep. At least you don't have to wear a suit and a tie, right?
Yeah, right.
You still have to go to meetings.
My office, it's funny because my office is literally in the back of my apartment. So, like most of my meetings, I'm in my flip-flops and, you know, my pajamas from the night before. So.
On April 20th, Mark James was here, and he was telling me a little bit about the Bluegrass art experience at Churchill Downs and everything.
Yeah.
I believe.
Mark's doing some very interesting work. He really is. I would say, like, Mark's probably one of the most cutting-edge artists I've seen in a very long time. Like, he's really pushing it. But he doesn't do... I think there are, like, way too many artists out there that do things for shock value just to shock people, you know? When Mark makes a statement, he's making it for a reason. Yeah. And, you know, he's trying to bring awareness to a lot of stuff, you know? And actually, Mark's even going so far as to, in our area of town... We have a kind of a homeless problem, you know. Not really bad, really nice guys, you know, and just guys that are down on their luck. And Mark has had like many conversations with these guys, and you know, he realized that a lot of the reasons these guys don't have any benefits or homeless, a lot of times they lose their jobs, so they're out on the street, and then they get beat up or mugged, and they get their IDs taken away from them, and so he. And then they don't have the money or a place to live to get their IDs. So Mark's actually helping some of these guys get their IDs, get their lives back on track. You know, something so simple as having an ID can throw you off because they can't get food stamps, they can't get, you know, housing or anything without an ID. You know,
they're just kind of pushed out of the system.
Yeah, they're pushed out of the system. They're completely off the radar. You know, and they have no way back. You know,
and you know, people look at being off the system and off the grid and everything like it's a good thing, and it could be if you were set up right, if you had
a house,
the funds and the space to you know, grow things and live. But if you don't have anything, I mean, it's got to be a really bleak situation to be in.
These guys are just kind of the forgotten children, you know. The thing about a lot of visual art and a lot of artistic experiences is trying to talk to them may cast the wrong light on them, and you know, trying to explain something without seeing it's like trying to explain the Grand Canyon. Sure. You know, you could, you know, two people.
It's a really big hole in the ground.
Yeah, it's like the biggest hole in the ground. That doesn't sound that majestic, you know. And or you could over-explain it
Yeah.
and put a different cast on it, and as was my thing we were talking earlier about artwork, is I don't like to describe my artwork to people.
Right.
Even when they asked me what I was thinking at the time, I'm like,
What do you think
what
about
do you
it?
think about it?
Yeah.
What's it make you think about? Because art is about the viewer more than it is about the artist.
Right.
It's always been like that, because if it was about the artist, most artists are insane. So, sometimes there are no reasons why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just throwing red paint at a canvas because they're insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mark's he's one of the artists that's seeing this the Bluegrass art experience as the reason we started this. We wanted to be a jumping off point for artists.
Yeah.
We want it to be a place where local artists can show their stuff and be put on a big scene,
Yeah.
and a big scale art event where they can come and say, hey, we're just as valid as anybody on the East Coast or the West Coast. We've got the same artists here, and all. And I think that's about anywhere. I think you could go, to the middle of nowhere and you're going to find one valid artist, one guy out in the wilderness that's,
Yeah.
painting on bark, but it's amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Right now, we're in partnership with Framer Supply. Framer Supply will actually frame all your stuff, give you mat boards, all that for
That has got to be really
25%
convenient.
off. Yeah, 30% off. So, they're really helping us, and it's nice to have it. That was a lot of our thing is people that buy frames buy art, people that buy art buy frames. So it's a nice partnership, So
It's so genius. As soon as I heard it, my brain was like, why doesn't every art gallery have a framing supply shop?
Yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense. It's really nice because that's kind of what's helped our gallery so much, is because our gallery has 20 to 30 people in there on a random Monday, and most galleries don't. Most galleries get people on weekends or
trolley hops
and stuff like that. But we always constantly have customers coming in there, and they're people that buy art because they're in there to buy frames. So, it's really nice. Actually, I think we've all sold a couple of pieces just to random customers coming in. I'm like, I like that, So.
Plus, you probably also have actual galleries that are set up to
we have
get a lot of people in.
Yeah,
there.
we have gallery openings once a month. It's normally the third Saturday.
Nice.
Just because that's the only Saturday that wasn't taken by every other gallery. But we do third Saturdays of every month, and we have wine and food and.
When's the next one of those?
Let's see. It'd be the third. Probably not going to do the one this month, just because
Everything coming up.
Yeah, because basically it would be the weekend before the art festival. So I think that's just going to be way too hectic.
A little overkill.
Yeah.
Have to move everything right after that.
Yeah. So, but it'll probably the next one will be in June,
Nice.
the third Saturday of June.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about the exhibit?
No. I think that's pretty much it. Just come out, bring the kids. It's the one thing is it's a free event. There's it's like $3 to get into Churchill Downs, but that's their that's the average admission all the time.
$3, it's pretty low.
It's $3, and you get to go to the track. They're going to be running races all 3 days. It's 26th, 27th, 28th. That's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and the races going the whole time. So you can come watch some of the races, come down, listen to some of the performance art, and the performance art stage. We have comedians, dancers, music. A couple of fashion shows, local designers stuff, and and then the art booths where we have glass blowers and painters and everything in between. So, it's going to be a good time, and it's $3.
Yeah.
It's $3. Come on, come and see some art.
This has been Sessions with Maplex. We've been here with Mike Nusser today of Chez Gallery, good friends with Mark James, who was just here recently. He's been talking about a lot of the things that he's got in the works right now as far as the Bluegrass art experience and Chez Gallery, some of the things he's got coming up towards the end of May and on through the rest of his life. I think he's planning a lot of things. He said he's going to go on a vacation right after the Bluegrass art experience is over, to come back and record an album and put that out as soon as possible. Anything else you want to say to the people of the world?
Just say keep creating. If you're a painter, sculpt, and write music too, dance, do everything. It's not about just creating one genre or one medium. Just keep creating. Every day create something new.
Well said, sir. This has been Sessions with Maplex from the Creative Community Studio. You all have a wonderful evening.
She was only 13 when they put her on display. A smiling face and sparkled eyes holding back the rage. And it's okay, baby, we'll show them all your scars. Let them trade in all your faith to be a superstar.